honestly, the way I see things and the things that I know that I can't talk about,
Right.
they're after us at all angles, and we are letting them take it. They're going to, since before President Trump got shot, I said they're going to take us without a shot. Well, they took a shot.
They did.
And we better wake up. We better wake up.
Yeah. Hello, fellow patriots. My name is Kelly Jackson with the Tennessee Conservative News, and I have the honor once again to be sitting down with one of Tennessee's best, Congressman Tim Burchett. Welcome, Congressman Burchett. I know we only have a short time, so I'm just going to jump right into it. Since we were last here, we have had an assassination attempt on President Trump, what seems to be a full-blown coup against Joe Biden by his own side, which was followed then by his replacement in the campaign by his border czar, VP Kamala Harris. So it looks as though the gaslighting has already started from the media trying to paint her as having a massive support. Do you think that this is in an effort to try and have a plausible reason when they attempt to steal the upcoming election?
Oh, absolutely. This is just a manifestation of something they've been planning for quite some time. Nothing ever happens by chance in this game. And people, they call you, I remember when I got to Washington, that conspiracy theorists, was a dangerous thing. Now they're just kind of middle of the road people. I mean, you see, Trump gets shot. Now you've got on schedule, the FBI saying, well, we're not sure if he was shot. It could have been shrapnel, which is, what is that? A fragment off the bullet, you know? And then they go on to say that Biden was in great cognitive shape. Look, the top level of all these alphabet agencies needs to go. And Trump knows that. And that's why they're pitching such a fit. You saw yesterday where the Justice Department, just some of their former employees, which is legal, and some of their current employees, which is illegal, are doing joining funders called the Hatch Act. You can research it. And I know Pete Buttigieg, who is no friend of the conservative movement, he is also involved in some, apparently. So this thing, and you say, well, why don't they pop them? Well, the Justice Department is the one that have to pop them. It's kind of like Congress investigating itself or military intelligence. It really just doesn't exist. So we've got a real problem. And the problem, let me tell you who the problem lies with.
Okay.
The problem lies with the 20 million evangelical Christians who decided to stay home last election.
Yes, sir.
And I'm tired of the egos. I'm tired of them all getting all puffed up and talking tough when you got 25% of the congregations voting.
Yeah.
That's just, or less. And here I am in Knoxville, Tennessee, and we might have 15% of the total population get elected. The conservative center of the Bible belt, the belt buckle, if you will, the piece of turquoise in the middle of the belt buckle. And we've got a person on our city council in the city of Knoxville that's openly a Marxist. They're not in denial about it. They're friendly about it. But, I don't want AOC representing me on the city council in our city elections. So, and it's our fault, ma'am. It's top to bottom. We'll vote for the president, and then we won't vote down ticket.
Yes.
And we see what happened to our school boards and pornography. And I mean, it is some grotesque stuff. They'll say, "Oh, you're a bunch of book burners," and then, and they holler this stuff and compare Trump to Hitler, and then he gets shot. And then they keep then they say, well, it's your fault. You're the one, look, I don't care whose fault it is. We just got to take our country back.
Yes, agreed. So with the attempted assassination, we saw, you all in the Oversight Committee's attempt to get answers from the now former Secret Service director, which she told you virtually nothing in that hearing. And I saw that you had Director Wray in front of another committee answering some questions. How truthful do you think his answers were in that hearing?
I trust him about as far as I could throw the dome off the Capitol, ma'am. I think because here's one answer, something I did some cross-checking. They had the local police officer, the chief, I believe he was, and he was before the committee, and they asked him, how long was it after the officer saw the kid, he's an adult, on the roof was it before President Trump was shot? And he said it was minutes. Minutes. What did Director Wray say? Very few seconds.
Yes.
And so there is a real discrepancy there. Those people need to go, ma'am.
Yeah.
They are, and by muddying the waters by saying President Trump was hit with shrapnel. I mean, I don't even get what shrapnel, a piece of the bullet.
Right.
You know, there's an actual of the vapor trail of the bullet whizzing by his head. It's a miraculous shot. We've all seen it.
Yes.
But all this is clouding the waters. All they're trying to do is cloud the waters over what went down there, who is responsible. And I'm afraid, just like in some of our other, just like Bobby Kennedy, John F. Kennedy, they they're dead.
Yeah.
They are dead. Saran died, and then Lee Harvey Oswald gets shot by a benevolent strip club owner. You know?
Well, and then they aced him too.
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, then he died of a rare form of cancer in prison.
Yeah. And
then, of course, Lee Harvey Oswald, who was the suspected shooter of Martin Luther King. Miss King even said that they're one of the King family members said they didn't think that he was the one who did it. I mean, it was a crazy shot. He's standing 1 foot on a toilet, 1 foot in a bathtub. And then the next day, one of my local preachers, who's a friend of mine, told me that there was this brush in front of the motel across that the guy that he shot from, and the next day it had been mowed. So they're not really sure. They don't. Yeah, I mean, you know, in time, time is there, and we never. It's always a loner.
Yeah,
always had no help from anybody else.
Yep,
and they all die. They're all dead, and then they're all those things until they aren't.
Yeah.
You can't bring back the death, but we find out, you know, John F. The guy who shot Kennedy, allegedly Oswald, you know, his deal. And then, of course, Martin Luther King's alleged assassin, this is some broke redneck, third-rate punk. They caught him in London, England.
Wow.
You know, and he had a brand new Mustang in 1968.
Yeah.
And they were pretty hard to come by at that time. And the whole thing, none of it fits together. And it all stinks. It all stinks. Even Bobby Kennedy's
absolutely
said he said Saran didn't do it. But anyway, it doesn't matter. What matters is that we've got to get to the polls in November.
Absolutely.
And top to bottom, we got to remember all the other races. The
Yes.
school boards, the city councils, the state reps, state senate, Congress, Senate, president.
Absolutely.
Don't stop at the top. That's what they're counting on. And and Kamala Harris is a train wreck. Her record on the border is just awful. 14 million people, 100,000 Chinese. We know of at least 50 known terrorists that have come over our border that are inside the continental United States. We do not know where. And as a Christian, the one thing that bothers me the most, ma'am, is the 100,000 children that are in God knows what horrors. They're
the trafficking. Yes, absolutely horrific. Absolutely horrific. Before we leave the issue of the assassination attempt, though, I did want to ask you, what did you think about this man in a gray suit on the roof of that building that day? And that's been reported. A lot of people reported seeing that person. Do you know if we have accounted for all the bullet casings that correspond with the number of shots that we believe were taken by both the assassin and the counter snipers? Do we know if we have an accounting of all of that?
I don't believe we do. My friend Eli Crane, who's a Navy SEAL sniper, he went, and I texted him this morning, and there's more, and there's a lot of those guys, they don't want to talk over a phone or text. And he went there yesterday to go try to get up on that tower. And so he's done that before. I have a family member who is a sniper and explained to me some other things too. Yeah. And again, I'm afraid the only person that can tell us is dead. Very graphically has his head blown off. Yes. And they sure were quick about washing that roof off.
Yes, they were.
I would and then allowing people up on that roof, which was crazy. Yeah. Anyway, and I'll tell you something else. One other thing.
Sure.
they let Trump up on that stage when they saw a guy with
Yeah.
a rangefinder. Now, the only reason you got a rangefinder, ma'am, is to hit a golf ball or to fire a rifle. And there wasn't
Yes, sir.
a dadgum golf course there.
No, no, no. Well, and back in January of 75, the Senate Select Committee to study governmental operations with respect to intelligence activities was convened, also known as the Church Committee, named after Democrat Senator Frank Church. Considering we all have learned, not just in the last week, but in the last several years, the intelligence interference in the 2020 election, would you and your colleagues, should we keep the House? Should we recapture the Senate and recapture the White House? Especially if we have that, would both houses and the White House, would we convene such the same kind of hearings as the church hearings? Because we need to tear apart our intelligence agencies from top to bottom.
I suspect there will be something like that. Do I think they'll come up with anything new, or will they do anything? No, other than it'll probably be a moderate Republican bring it forward that says they need more money.
Yeah.
Currently, their budget, Secret Service budget's over $1 billion. I think they currently around 21 or 22 people that they actually guard. So I think you got a real problem there. You got a disconnect. You got a problem with government, and it is the deep state. And you can call me a conspiracy theorist, but I've seen too much.
Well, you're not alone. You're not alone. You're surrounded by millions and millions of other people. One last question is, have you been in contact with President Trump? And if so, how is he feeling about everything?
Well, of course, he's Donald Trump. He's very positive. He's meeting with, I think, Netanyahu this morning.
Yeah.
And on the mic, Netanyahu's not. I've been in a room with two people, ma'am, that take all the oxygen out of the room. When they walk in the room, when Donald Trump walks in the room, dadgummit, he's Donald Trump. But I tell you what, when Benjamin Netanyahu walks in the room, and I actually felt led to pray with Benjamin Netanyahu.
Wow.
And one time I met with him in Israel, and I did that. And because he knows who the Jewish folks support him and the conservative Christians, evangelical Christians support him. And he knows that, and they know that. Oddly, they do know that.
Yeah.
And but he was with Trump this morning, and as he walked up, he said, "Save the best to last," or something like that. And it was pretty cool. And I reached over when he came down the aisle. There's a picture of him, and one of my friends in Congress who's across the aisle, but knows how I feel about Israel. He's Jewish, and he said, "Burchett, what did you say to Bibi?" That's what they call him, is Bibi. He said he was laughing and came back and was talking to you. And I told him, I said, "Sir, I'm from Tennessee." Yeah. And he goes, I said, got an incredible memory, obviously. But he said, and I said, "And my folks back home would want me to tell you shalom, y'all." And he said, "Where was that again?" And I said, "Tennessee, sir." I said, "The only place in America where people don't speak with an accent." And he laughed, and but
yeah,
I mean, it was, I got cramps in my legs from I think it was 51 standing ovations or something.
Wow.
I mean, it was, and he called out those protesters.
That's good.
And he should have. I mean, those people were getting paid by somebody. A lot of them were, and they took down the American flag. They vandalized stuff. They attacked cops, and I guarantee you, not one of them might go to jail for 30 days or something. And it just infuriates me. And they burnt and they put up a pro-terrorist flag, and that just, to me, is disgusting. There's a First Amendment, but once you destroy property, that is against the law.
Yes. It's not necessary to destroy property in order for you to convey your grievances. So
that is correct.
That's why it's a crime. So
that should have led every story in the country. I don't watch national news. Led every story in the country. I don't watch national news on any of it. I don't watch Fox or any of it. I don't watch any of the other three, of the big three. But I guarantee you, if they talked about it, it was very, very small.
Very small. Yeah, because if they were to discuss it any further, it would not assist in their narrative in any way. So, well, I know that you are pressed. You are pressed for time, and I appreciate the time that you've given us here so much. I'll probably be pestering you all more often than not between now and November, because I believe that you have a perspective there that we can all rely on. So I appreciate so much your time, and thank you so much, Congressman Burchett. You have a fantastic, fantastic day, and I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Ma'am, thank you, and God bless you. I hope God blesses you and your mission, because we've got to have you. We've got to have more people like you, ma'am. And please pray about what you folks that are watching this, pray about what y'all need to do, because
Yeah.
honestly, the way I see things and the things that I know that I can't talk about,
Right.
they're after us at all angles, and we are letting them take it. They're going to, since before President Trump got shot, I said they're going to take us without a shot. Well, they took a shot,
They did.
and we better wake up. We better wake up.
Yes. Agreed. Agreed. Thank you so much, sir. I so appreciate you. Have a great day.
Thank you, ma'am. You're great.
Bye-bye.